Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to use the various tools that are part of the TortoiseSVN client to allow us to very simply and very easily manage conflicts with check-ins. It'll also allow us to do merge and diffs. Now this is a very common scenario when dealing with a source control server like Subversion, because Subversion allows for multiple checkouts of the same file. Now this commonly occurs when two people are trying to modify the same file. They modify portions of the file that actually are the same, and one person checks in first and the next person maybe needs to check in afterwards. Well, what I've got here is I've got a scenario where I've got two developers. Over on the right I've got Brendan, and over on the left I've got Ryan. They're both making changes to the same file. Now Ryan has been asked to fix this typo right here. Instead of saying hello world, it's going to say hello world. He's also going to come down and change this from an exclamation to the information icon. And he's going to want to check these in. So let's go over here and do a commit. And I'm going to leave myself a little breadcrumb. Change typo and icon. I'm going to go ahead and commit these. And I sent it and committed just fine. Now Brendan, he's been asked to make a very similar change, and he's gotten latest recently, but he is unaware that Ryan had made these changes, but he's been asked to make a change of not to fix the typo, but to change this exclamation to be a question and the OK cancel to be a yes no. Now Brendan wants to be a good developer over here, so what he's going to want to do actually before he does a check-in is something that most developers should do. He's going to do an update to make sure he can get the latest version, that his changes don't break anything. And it shows that he has a conflict on this form. So what he wants to do is come in and figure out what's different. So let's go ahead and do a diff on this. Now you can see over here that the working copy says hello world, and it has a question and the yes no, or hello world, I'm sorry. And the copy that's in source control says hello world and shows an information and OK cancel. Well, he needs to figure out what changes he wants to keep and which one he doesn't want to keep. Maybe he wants to keep all of his, in which case he can just resolve the conflict and overwrite. But in this particular scenario, he wants to actually keep the typo fixed because it makes sense to keep that. So what he wants to go ahead and do, come over here and do edit conflicts. And this is a screen very similar to the diff screen, but he'll be able to choose which lines he wants to keep. So what he'll do is he'll come over here and choose the line from that's in the source control and say use this text block, and you'll want to use his text block. So if I scroll down over here, you'll see it says hello world, it says yes, no, it has a question. So now he's just edited these conflicts. He's going to go ahead and click OK and come back over here. Now he's not going to do a commit. Now you'll see this still says conflicted down here. We're going to want to resolve this conflict, so I'm going to go ahead and say it's resolved. And yes, I've resolved it. And updated icons. Let's go ahead and do an OK. And has now resolved my conflict and checked in my files. Now Ryan's going to come along a little bit later and do an update. And he should be able to get those updates no problem. Well, maybe Ryan comes in here, notices, just like this, that something's changed. And he wants to know exactly what's different, because he doesn't necessarily remember what the file had prior to. So what he can actually do is he can come over here, go into his source control, just change his view real quick. He's going to find the file and do a little diff on it. Show log, because he wants to figure out what version he wants to compare against. He wants to compare the typo change in icon versus the updated icons and do a compare versions. And he can notice real easily that the hello world is the same, but somebody's come across and changed OK cancel and the information icon to a yes no and a question icon. Well, that's good. He actually wants it. He likes those changes, but maybe now he wants to know who did it. So he can come over here and do a blame and figure out that Derik made these changes, which is actually Brendan, because I'm currently logged in as the same person. But he can actually determine what team member made the changes. Pretty powerful tools. So he actually is pretty happy with those changes, doesn't want to make changes. He just wanted to know what was wrong with him, or why it had changed from last time he was in there. So what did we learn today? We've learned how to resolve conflicts by using the edit screen within Tortoise. We've also learned how to do a diff and to pull revision history out of the SVN server. So I hope you learned something. Until next time.